Right, a man asked me my thoughts on working a 60-hour week. It's got to be done, fam. It's the necessary evil. Every rich and successful person you meet that's self-made, I'm not talking about a man that's inherited a million or billion from his dad, but every self-made, rich and successful man that you meet or woman that you meet, they were doing 60, 70, 80 hours a week. Nothing, blood. Working on Saturdays, working on Sundays. You see all them old people there that are struggling, heat or eat, they can't manage their finances, cost of living is killing them right now. I guarantee you, they weren't doing 60-hour weeks back in the day. And if they did, they probably done it for a short period of time and that. When you're doing these 60-hour weeks, you don't do 60-hour weeks so that you can go and spend money and live a luxury and lavish lifestyle. No, you do these 60-hour weeks so that you can save your money and make investments, or at least save it. Worst case scenario, you want to save. Best case scenario, you want to invest your money. But you got to do 60-hour weeks and that. It's been done before. The infamous Holborn job, any of you been watching me on YouTube will know about that infamous Holborn job. I've been talking about it for years now. Man was working from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, Sunday. And sometimes Monday to Friday, I was working from 8 a.m. till 10. The longest I ever done was 8 a.m. to 11. Now, I was a manager, so I was in the office and that, minding my staff, innit? But man was still on site. You know, when you're working, there's a difference between being at home and being at work. You know, you still got to be alert and that. You can't just go and sleep for 2-3 hours and that. Man be putting in the work. So, even building that Tottenham Stadium, that's when I first got my taste of real good money. I remember working at the Tottenham Stadium and I was doing 7 days a week. Was doing basically 8 till 8, maybe 8 till 10. And I was taking home about 1,800 a week and that. And literally that job there kind of turned me into a workaholic. I mean, I've always kind of been a workaholic. I remember one gal I used to see back in the day said that I was a workaholic. And that was before I was at that Tottenham job and that. But them 60-hour weeks are got to be done. That's mandatory. I can't physically do 60-hour weeks at my workplace because there's just not enough work for it. But I actually do 60-hour weeks. I actually do like 10, 12-hour days and that. This whole day, so man finished work at like, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock or whatever, 2 o'clock. Since I've been home, just been making and building content. Just making content, doing little reaction videos and that, filming classic view videos and that, answering messages and shit like that, making these reply videos and that. It's all work. But these 60-hour weeks have got to be done, man. It's got to be done. You're not going to be successful doing what the majority of people do. What the 95 or 90% of people do, if you're doing that, you're going to be just like them. So you got to do more. You got to go above and beyond what they're doing. The rich and successful people who are self-made, they went above and beyond those 90%, 90%ers and that. So embrace the grind, man. Trust me, when you're doing well for yourself for that, you're gonna look back on them times for that. I remember man was doing them mad hours. Or even if you was just working for some shit money and that. It's gotta be done. It's a necessary evil. Man's worked for shit money before. Man, I remember being an apprentice, working for £4.75 or some mad money like that. 7.5 hours, basically just call it £5 an hour for 7 hours. Man was on like £38 a day. You better not go and eat lunch for £10. Like that. I remember doing them mad. I remember leaving my sister's yard. My sister lives in South London. I remember leaving her yard at midnight to try and catch a train from South London to basically like London Bridge, and then from London Bridge to Edmonton. Nah. Not at midnight, mate. I had to start off in South London at my sister's house. I had to go into Kent. So I'm moving down. I'm travelling further down south. I had to go from South London into Kent. Then from Kent, I had to catch a train to like either London Bridge or London Liverpool Street, one of them central London train stations and that. From there, man, I had to, I think, get a train to Stoke Newton or somewhere like that. Get off, somewhere in Hackney. I had to get off, get the 149 all the way to Edmonton. I got home at 3 a.m. I left my sister's house at midnight, 12 o'clock at night. I got home at 3 a.m. I had to get up at 6, to go back to South London, Waterloo Station, to start work for some guy. This is when I was an apprentice. I was working, helping. So I was an apprentice at Haringey Council, and then I was doing some work with some random guy that I found on the internet or whatever, and he was giving me some weekend work, innit? Left my sister's house at 12, got home at 3, had to get up at 6, had 3 hours sleep, blood. You know what I had for breakfast? A Red Bull and a banana. Imagine having to go to work on 3 hours sleep. So man's done them madnesses. I remember working for one company. Fuck them, I ain't gonna say their name. Pussy old company still. They'd fire me still. I mean, I've been fired from bare companies still. So there's no smoke about fire, it's me still. But anyway, yeah, I remember working for one company, starting at like 7 in the morning, finishing at about 4:30, going home, chilling for 2 hours. In that time, I'll be eating my dinner and that, you get me? Just sit down and relax for an hour or so. Bam! I leave my yard, my mum's yard, at like 6:37. I'll drive down to Poplar, which is near like the River Thames, E14. It's basically the borough of Tower Hamlets. And go to one community centre and start working. Man will be there from 8 till like midnight, 12:30, you know. Have to leave, get home at like, I don't know, 1:15, go to sleep, back up in the morning at 6 in the morning. Yeah, to go to work, to get to work for 7 o'clock and that. I remember when I was at my mum's house in Edmonton, I remember there was one time I was working in Croydon. So if you imagine the map of London, yeah, Edmonton, N9, that's my postcode, is at the top of North London. Any norther, and you're technically in a different postcode region, you're in EN, yeah? I was traveling down to Croydon, yeah, like, I can't remember the postcode, it's like CR1 or CR0. Do you know where that Whitgift Centre is? Unfortunately, one girl got stabbed recently in Croydon. It's near that Whitgift Centre. I was travelling from tip to tip, yeah? From the northest point of North London to the southest point of South London. It was taking me 2 hours to get to work. I was getting up at like 4:15 in the morning, getting ready, having to leave my house at 5 to drive 2 hours down, 2 hours down to South London, down to South Croydon and that, or Croydon, whatever they call it. Having to work, yeah. So man's getting up at like 4:15, leaving my mum's yard at 5, getting to work for 7 o'clock, working a 12-hour shift from 7 till 7, then having to drive all the way back home, get home at 9 o'clock, eat my dinner, go to bed, get up and fucking repeat, blood. Man done them madnesses. Literally done them madnesses. So, and even now, like I was about to say, I can sit down and relax. I ain't relaxing. I'm not relaxing. the amount of work that man just puts in, boy, like, yeah, literally, I need to relax myself still. Like, most people would think, like, with the money that I've got now and shit like that, or whatever, really, man, sitting on properties and that, about to complete on the next one. People will think, man, be chilling. I ain't chilling. I'm speeding up. And there's people out here who are dirt broke, they're poor and that, they're struggling with cost of living, and they're just coasting through. Like, no, you got to live life with a sense of urgency. My brothers, my sisters watching this right now. Anyway, man, that's it for today, man. You lot just got to start working 60 hours if you can. Yeah. Work night shifts if you can. There's man out here right now, African man, yeah, and probably some Eastern European, some hard workers out here, double shifting, you know. Yeah, there's man actually, literally, working from 9 to 5, 9 to 6, then they're fucking going home, chilling for a couple of hours, and then going to work from like 9 till 3 in the morning and that. Then getting back up for like 6, 7 o'clock, blood. Madness, blood. But it's got to be done, man. Anyway, that's it for tonight, man.